to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt and KHNC.
What's up, guys? So good to be with you. Bucky Dillon here. This is the Bucky Dillon Morning Show, our morning show, a collaborative between myself and the free-thinking, free-spirited, freedom-loving, free speech advocating, free market adhering, patriot community right here in northern Colorado, and tuning in anywhere in the whole wide world on the radio broadcast through the website 1360khnc.com. Hit the shop button while you're there. Check out our CBD products. If you want to support our station, if you want to support the mission, you can do so by supporting our advertisers and by helping yourself out through the CBD products on the website. Fantastic deal and great for your health. Can't recommend it highly enough. I'm taking my CBD products when I get home. I've been in Detroit for, 5 days. And my feet hurt walking everywhere. I walked miles and miles and miles in these snow boots that I very rarely wear. My feet hurt. But I know just what I need to facilitate some pain relief, some relaxation as I kick back for the rest of the day. I'm not going to go do too much the rest of the day. I'm going to go after my radio show. I'm going to go home and spend time with my beautiful family. Hey, we got a caller. I'm going to put him straight on the air.
Hola, mundo.
Hello. Caller, are you with us? Well, that sure is strange. Dropping the call. Anyways, I'm going to go home. I'm going to try my CBD products. Take care of my aching feet. But I want to tell you guys all about my trip. I loved it. I had a blast. In the previous hour, I was telling you guys all about the history of Detroit and the rise and slow, steady decline of one of America's most interesting cities. Now, while I was there, I did want to step foot in Canada. I couldn't because they are not accepting American immigrants, American visitors at this time without some COVID hoops you got to jump through. During normal circumstances, you don't need anything except for your passport. It doesn't even cost anything, and you can step right into Canada. I was going to do it just so I could get a stamp on my passport and tell my friends that I've been to Canada. But couldn't do it. But I had a blast. I had a blast in Detroit. If you guys get the opportunity to check out the Henry Ford Museum, definitely do it. Definitely do it. So over the course of the weekend, I got to see a collection of presidential cars, Reagan's car, JFK's car. Don't tell the museum authorities, but I totally reached out and touched it. Ran my hand across the side of this car, right? Left a little fingerprint on it. I touched the car that JFK was shot in, okay? Allegedly shot it, right? I'm playing. I don't buy into that QAnon stuff. But I did touch the car. And I'm not sure I was supposed to do that, but right? Who wouldn't? Give me a break, man. Come on. Thought this was America. So I got to see the presidential cars all the way from Reagan to Teddy Roosevelt's car. Well, his little cart, I guess. And then I got to tour. They don't just have vehicles at the Henry Ford Museum. They have kind of like a whole segment of the museum dedicated to American history. And so I got to see the rocking chair where Abraham Lincoln was shot and killed. They have it. I got to see the Rosa Parks bus. They have it. Under normal conditions, you can actually step inside of the bus. But no, that's an interesting story too, because the bus was just given away to a farmer who ripped all the seats and everything out of it and used it to like store all his crap. And then, the farmer died, handed the farm down to his daughter, and the daughter was in possession of the bus. And, at some point the bus was tracked down, and all these museums were offering tons of money on it, right? The Smithsonian, the Henry Ford Museum. And I think they spent like $500,000 just to buy the bus that was all rusted and beat down and gutted. And then they totally restored it. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure the only original piece of the interior is the little sign that tells you the bus number. I want to say 2876. I can't remember, but the number of the bus, which I identified it as the Rosa Parks bus. I love the story of Rosa Parks. And, while I was also there, I saw the International Memorial to the Underground Railroad, which is in downtown Detroit. It's not in Dearborn, where the Henry Ford Museum is. Still cool. But the Underground Railroad, Rosa Parks, that is what the Liberty Revolt is all about. Because sometimes what is right isn't necessarily what is legal. And it's always a fight for freedom. It's always a fight for freedom. Especially today. You look at what's going on in our country today, what's being passed by Joe Biden, what's going on in our culture. Scary stuff. We have our work cut out for you guys. Take stake in this country. We need to take ownership of our country. It's time to take back control. And I will tell you what I think are some strategies to do so. Some strategies to do so. All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's great to be back. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show. See you on the other side of Twitter.
COVID has stopped Triangle Cross Ranch from conducting any fundraisers since March of 2020. Current state government issues has stopped our ability to have fundraisers until March 2021. We need financial donations to get through the rest of the year. Any financial support is welcome, or just send $1 US silver dollar a month to support our Christian mission. Triangle Cross Ranch, 36049 County Road 51, P.O. Box 727, Gailton, Colorado, 80622.
What's up, KHNC Patriots? Bucky Dillon here. If you're looking for a simple and free way to support the station, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/1360KHNC. It really does help us reach a broader and a younger audience, help us take our country back. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share, invite your friends. You can watch the live streams, you can read the blog, you can share the memes, and you can join the conversation. You can join the fight, facebook.com/1360KHNC.
Is the driveway made of fruit leather, or has the apple stopped appling? If your half of a 100-foot cottonwood tree just needs a haircut, call Affordable Tree Service North at 970-568-6898. We have saved many trees everyone else said was dead. Ah, show offs! Hey, you're not in this one either. From fire mitigation, bushes, trees to bees, that's 568-6898. God bless us!
1360khnc.com has CBD products. Click on the shop button and get yours today.
Just go to 1360khnc.com/shop. The CBD on our website is 99% pure, all natural, no pesticides, non-GMO, is grown organically right here in Colorado, and is 100% THC free. Oh, and did you know ours is the lowest price CBD anywhere in Northern Colorado? For all your CBD needs, just log on to 1360khnc.com/shop.
欢迎收听 KHNC 广播电台 Bucky Dillon 早安秀，大家的早安广播，谢谢。
Take back control of our country, of our destiny. One way you guys can do that is by actually owning a piece of the United States. And we better do it right away, because, you know, in China, they can't own property. Citizens in China can't own property. So what do? They come here and they buy it up. You would be shocked and astonished at how much land in the United States is owned by wealthy Chinese people. They're buying up farmland almost at the rate that Bill Gates is buying up farmland. Don't let it happen. You know how the GameStop Reddit meme lords were able to sink the hedge funds by purchasing stock in GameStop and holding on to it? You could do the same thing with our country by purchasing real estate. I mean it. I'm buying my first home. Even though I'm looking at the future of the American dollar, I'm looking at the future of our country, and I'm concerned. I understand that our best way forward is to make smart economic decisions and to take ownership of this country. And one of the most effective ways to do so is by purchasing real estate. Contact my friend Jerry Axum at Sears Real Estate and get in on the action. Interest rates are artificially at record lows. There's not a better time to refinance. There's not a better time to buy. Do it now. If you're on the fence, if you're thinking about it, I'll tell you what, contact my friend Jerry and just have a conversation with him and just talk about, he'll be honest with you. I did a whole interview with him. You can find on the KHNC Facebook page, facebook.com/1360. And you can find an interview I did with Jerry where I just ran through a bunch of questions and I pushed on him. I said, why should someone hire you? Why should someone buy a house? Right? What's the advantage in hiring you over hiring anybody else? There's more real estate agents in Colorado than there's real estate. But he's a sharp guy. He's with it. He's not like Joe Biden, falling asleep, drooling on himself, fish hooking little girls with his creepy old fingers. Contact my friend Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. Jerry at SearsRealEstate.com. Be a smart move. And hey, this country could use a couple smart moves right about now. Anyways, so I was telling you guys about the Rosa Parks bus, the Underground Railroad, and, you know, Detroit was a premier destination of the Underground Railroad because of the booming automotive industry lifting people into the middle class, which was largely deregulated and very competitive. Obviously, it was at the forefront of innovation of the Industrial Revolution. That was the assembly line and automobile industry. But I think the story of the Underground Railroad, I think the story of Rosa Parks really does encapsulate what the Liberty Revolt is all about. That willingness to take a stand, to fight against the system because it is unjust, peacefully, effectively, civil disobedience. And it was really cool. Man, they had a whole section of the museum dedicated to civil rights, dedicated to Black history, dedicated to America's founding and our breakaway from Britain and the trials and tribulations of a infant nation, and the women's suffrage movement and all of that. And it was great. And obviously Detroit is a left-wing city, and they had a little bit of a left-wing spin on the whole thing, right? At no point did they ever mention that it was the Democrats that were the KKK, that it was the Democrats that were the South, right? In fact, when they had a map showing the North and the South and the states that wanted to maintain slavery, they had them all in red, and they had the North all in blue. And I was like, well, that's kind of the opposite of what it was, but okay, whatever. But I do love that story. And Rosa Parks was actually a pretty soft-spoken person. I mean, she blew up to notoriety during the Rosa Parks bus incident, but then she didn't write a book. She didn't go on some big media tour like every former member of the Trump administration. She made her impact, and that incident actually gave Rose to Martin Luther King Jr. He was kind of inspired. Young Martin Luther King Jr. was inspired about that incident, and that's when he kind of rose to prominence and then led the civil rights movement up until the 60s. And I love that story. Man, that is what America is all about. And I think Martin Luther King Jr. would be shocked and disappointed by what the so-called civil rights advocates are engaging in today. I don't think Martin Luther King Jr. would appreciate the Black Lives Matter organization or the 1619 Project. I think he would see it the same way I see it, divisive. I think he would see the violent protests as counterproductive. They're making things worse, right? They're making racial tensions worse. They're making tensions between the police and the community worse. And I think another thing to point out is, sometimes we assume that because someone was really hit the nail on the head in one aspect of their career, that they were right on everything. People point out that Martin Luther King Jr. had kind of a far left socialist, maybe even communist kind of economic ideology. And just because he really hit the nail on the head with the civil rights movement and telling people that we need to protest peacefully, that we should judge people based on their character, not on their skin color, and that we should integrate among each other, not segregate, and that we should live up to our founding ideals, doesn't necessarily mean that his tax plan was totally sound. In fact, I think this is a problem with a lot of our intellectual leaders, is because they are well informed or hit the mark in one area, they then assume that gives them the platform to spout off about all kinds of things in areas where they don't know anything about anything. But hey, I'm not going to sit here and bash on Martin Luther King Jr. I'm just saying that just because he was a socialist doesn't mean you should support socialism today. In fact, if lifting up the downtrodden and social justice issues are what you care about, you should take a look at the history of socialism and determine for yourself, is it social justice that kills 200 million people in 1 century through internal oppression alone? I would say not, but that's just my opinion. Rosa Parks actually did end up going to Michigan at some point and kind of working for some politicians. Gosh, was she in somebody's administration? Look this up, guys. Rosa Parks, political actions. Her bus boycott, civil rights, and facts. History channel. I would just like to read the whole story of Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks, 1913 to 2005, helped initiate the civil rights movement in the United States when she refused to give up her seat to a white man on a Montgomery, Alabama bus in 1955. Her actions inspired the leaders of the local Black community to organize the Montgomery bus boycott, which made a huge difference. It was so that case went to court and Black Americans boycotted the buses, and it had a huge financial impact on the buses. It actually did. And part of the reason she did what she did was to get the case in front of the hands of the Supreme Court, who deemed it unconstitutional, right? But Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. actually led the boycotts that lasted for more than a year, during which Parks, not coincidentally, lost her job and ended only when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional. And the federal government actually had to send in federal troops to enforce the desegregation of the buses, because even after the Supreme Court case ruled it unconstitutional to segregate the buses, the Alabama bus companies continued to try to force that segregation, and it actually took an act of federal government agents to kind of enforce the desegregation. She was born in Tuskegee, Alabama on February 4th. Oh, her birthday was just recently, like 11 days ago. Oh, I'm sad I missed it. 1913. She moved with her parents, James and Leanna, to Pine Level, Alabama, at age 2 to reside with Leona's parents. Her brother, Sylvester, was born in 1915, and shortly after that, her parents separated. Rosa's mother was a teacher, and the family valued education. Rosa moved to Montgomery, Alabama at the age of 11 and eventually attended high school there, a laboratory school at the Alabama State Teachers College for Negroes. She left at 16, early in 11th grade, because she needed to care for her dying grandmother and shortly after, her chronically ill mother. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show right here on 1360 KHNC. Guys, if you want to learn more about American hero Rosa Parks, Hang around.
Treat your ears and shake your rear with the Funky Garage Fossil Jostle, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. 1360 KHNC. You'll hear the coolest 60s garage, psychedelic surf, and 60s and 70s funky grooves. Tune in, turn up, and get down.
Chinese state-run media are celebrating the apparent success of Joe Biden, and the mainstream news outlets, which act as nothing more than the communications branch of the Democrat Party. Among the many things we are doing to become more engaged in the culture, 1360khnc.com now has a blog page for the sharing of hard-hitting conservative content. Help us break the left's domination of media by becoming a content contributor. Reach out to contact at 1360khnc.com to learn more.
Are you paying too much for your home, life, or auto insurance? It only takes 10 minutes to find out. Hi, this is Kevin Bowles with Badger Insurance Advisors. Choosing insurance plans can be difficult. That's why I make it easy. I'll make the calls, compare the plans and prices, and find you the insurance plan that fits your needs. Best of all, my help is at no cost to you. Call me today at 303-359-1799 or visit badgerinsuranceadvisors.com. Let me find the right insurance for you.
A lot of radio stations boast about having 2, 3, 4, 500,000 listeners. But what they don't tell you is the average listener only listens for 4 minutes. A song plays they don't like, same old boring commentary, or worse yet, as soon as the commercial starts playing, they change the station. Here at 1360 KHNC, our listeners listen longer, a lot longer. We have one of the longest time spent listening in the industry. That means our listeners don't change the dial when the commercial starts playing because they don't want to miss what our hosts have to say next. Advertise with 1360 KHNC and have your message be heard. Call us at 970-587-5003. We also have the best rates in Colorado. 970-587-5003 or 1360khnc.com. The Federal Reserve is in control of our money, but lately control is the last word you would use to describe the Fed. Emergency rate cuts, huge increases in their balance sheet, the constant blowing of bubbles and boom and bust cycles that just leave most of us busted. I'm Joe Jaquin, owner of the Patriot Trading Group, and we have been protecting people's wealth for almost 25 years. Stop playing the Fed's game and get your wealth protected. Call us at 800-951-0592 or visit our website at allamericangold.com.
Hi, everybody. Glenn Tate, co-host of Prepping 2.0.
Shelby Gallagher here. Join us Saturdays at 9 a.m.
right here on 1360 KHNC,
where we bring you great ideas to take your preps to the next level.
The Bucky Dillon Show is a Liberty Revolt Media production. www.libertyrevoltmedia.com.
So she was 42 years old on December 1st, 1955, when Rosa Parks was commuting home from a long day of work at the Montgomery Fair department store by bus. Black residents of Montgomery often avoided municipal buses if possible because they found the Negroes in back policy was demeaning. Nevertheless, 70% or more of the riders on a typical day were black. And on this day, Rosa Parks was one of them. At one point on the route, some more white passengers got on the bus, and there were 4 Black Americans towards the front of the bus, not the very front of the bus, like about the 4th row back, was where she was sitting. And the bus driver ordered them to move further to the back of the bus so that the white passengers could take their seats. The other 3 got up and moved. Parks did not. So she was arrested and she was taken to jail. And this was a big issue. A big issue. Nixon was there when Parks was released on bail later that evening. Nixon had hoped for years to find a courageous Black person of unquestioned honesty and integrity to become the plaintiff in a case that might become the next of the validity of segregation laws. Sitting in Parks's home, Nixon convinced Parks and her husband and mother that Parks was that plaintiff. Another idea arose as well. The Black population of Montgomery would boycott the buses on the day of Parks's trial. And remember, this was 70% of the people who rode the buses. So on December 5th, by midnight, 35,000 flyers were sent home with Black school children informing their parents of the planned boycott. Parks was found guilty of violating segregation laws, given a suspended sentence, and fined $10 plus $4 in court costs. Meanwhile, Black participation in the boycott was much larger than even optimists in the Black community had anticipated. Nixon and some ministers decided to take advantage of the momentum, forming the Montgomery Improvement Association to manage the boycott. And they elected Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, new to Montgomery and just 26 years old, as the MIA's president. I actually didn't know that about Nixon. That's interesting. As appeals and related lawsuits wended their way through the courts, all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, the Montgomery bus boycott engendered anger in much of Montgomery's white population, as well as some violence. And Nixon's and Dr. King's homes were bombed. The violence didn't deter the boycotters or their leaders, however, and the drama in Montgomery continued to gain attention from the national and international press. On November 13th, 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional. The boycott ended December 20th, a day after the court's order arrived in Montgomery. Parks, who had lost her job and experienced harassment all year, became known as the mother of the civil rights movement. That is awesome. But, you know, of course, there was hostilities still at the time, and she ended up moving to Detroit to get away from continued harassment. Parks became an administrative aide in the Detroit office of Congressman John Conyers Jr. in 1965, a post she held until 1988 when she retired. Her husband, brother, and mother all died of cancer between 77 and 79, and in 1987, she co-founded the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development to serve Detroit's youth. In the years following her retirement, she traveled to lend her support to civil rights events and causes and wrote an autobiography, Rosa Parks, My Story. In 1999, Parks was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest honor in the United States bestowed on a civilian. Other recipients have included George Washington, Thomas Edison, and Betty Ford, and Mother Teresa. When she died at the age of 92, hey, that's an old age, in 2005, she became the first woman in the nation's history to lie in honor at the United States Capitol. Now that is a cool story. And it's further proof that the actions of just one American can make a difference. It's also further proof that sometimes you have to risk being offensive, because a lot of people in Montgomery, Alabama were offended by what she did. It takes courage to stand up to the backlash, to stand up to the mob, especially when the mob has political and institutional power. Now, I'm not saying that Gina Carano is necessarily living up to Rosa Parks. But if you guys haven't heard, Gina Carano is the MMA fighter turned actress who was in The Mandalorian. Beautiful woman. My goodness, that's my kind of girl. Thick, strong, just way too good looking to cancel. You can't cancel a woman like that. I don't think you can do that, right? But we all know how Hollywood works these days. You say something that disagrees with the woke mob, and you are kicked out of polite society. Well, she took a stand. Then I'm very happy to support it. Guys, you're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show right here on 1360 KHNC. Hang around, friends. Hey, hang around.
Hey, it's Larry Elder. Thank you for listening to me every weekday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies. Do you own a business in northern Colorado or surrounding areas? Are you looking to reach a conservative, family-based, loyal audience which could grow your business? Well, take my advice and just call 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com and tell them Larry sent you.
Hi, Brian Kilmeade here. Thanks so much for listening to me every weekday from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. right here on KHNC, the roar of the Rockies. Hey, do you own a business in northern Colorado or surrounding areas? Are you looking to reach a conservative, loyal audience which could grow your business? Well, take my advice and contact my friends at KHNC. KHNC has a rapidly growing conservative family-based audience, and you can speak directly to them. Now, if you're looking for the type of customers or clients that believe in the principles that our great country was founded upon, just contact my friends at KHNC, the roar of the Rockies, and learn how you can be heard right on the air. Just call 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com. That's 970-587-5003 or email on the air at 1360khnc.com. Take it from me, Brian Kilmeade. You can showcase your business to the folks that are helping to take our country back.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So be careful out there. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Great minds think alike. Thank you for listening to the Bucky Dillon Show, hosted by the Liberty Revolt. Join me, Larry Elder, today at 5 on 1360 KHNC. Now back to Bucky Dillon.
So, Gina Carano, she tweeted out a couple things that the left really didn't like. She tweeted out something about election fraud, implying that, hey, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, with mass mail-in voting and changing all the rules around at the last second, and this, that, and the other was a recipe for a susceptibility to fraud. Now, anyone who's being honest has to admit that's the case. Come on. Come on. But the cognitive dissonance is strong and people are afraid to stand up to the woke mob, right? And then at some point, she was being pressured to post her pronouns on her Twitter page, like all the celebrities do now, right? They have to let you know what their pronouns are, as if you can't tell by looking at them. So, you know, she in response tweeted out, updated her profile and said that her pronouns were beep, boop, bop. And apparently this is offensive. Now, you can identify as whatever gender you want, but beep, boop, bop, well, that's clearly mocking. It's not mocking people to say that your pronouns are zer and them, right? But it is mocking to say beep, boop, bop. You can make up whatever pronouns you want, as long as you're being genuine about it. But if you make up your own pronouns and they don't like the way in which you say it, it's not what she said, it's how she said it, right? Anyways, Disney fired her for that. Disney. Fascinating. When they're shooting Mulan, they will literally Photoshop the concentration camps out of the background of the film. No problem, right? No problem. But if Gina Carano doesn't upload the right pronouns to her Twitter page, oh, well, she's out of a job. So what did she do? She will now be helping produce and star in the upcoming Daily Wire film. Now, Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro's media company. Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring have this media company, Daily Wire. They put out some pretty good content. They recently came out with a movie called Run, Hide, Fight. And I'm very happy about this because this is what I've been talking about. Conservatives getting engaged in the culture, putting out media content, hosting events, becoming cultural figures. And I think Donald Trump has largely facilitated this break into the culture that we're seeing with conservatives. And man, I think what is going on with Gina Carano is going to wake up a lot of the closet conservatives, the closet libertarians in the cultural institutions that are afraid to speak out, and give them the courage to stand and refuse to be silenced. Because she's proving that they can only cancel you if you let them. I didn't know anything about Gina Carano other than I thought she was a really good looking woman who could absolutely beat me up without a doubt. I didn't know much about her, but now I'm very excited to see where she goes from here, what she does, what this new movie is going to be about, what kind of role she's going to play. And I love seeing how powerless the left is to stop her from doing this. It's going to give away the lie that Hollywood has the cultural power that they thought they did. People hate Hollywood. Nobody likes these actors anymore. Maybe there's 8% of the population, the woke scolds, who enjoy the virtue signaling by these hypocrites, right? But I don't even like watching movies that they're in anymore because I no longer like the face. You know what I mean? Like I no longer like the people playing the roles. Therefore, I can't like the roles that much. I can't get into it. But I'm super excited. I'm not trying to say that Gina Carano is like Rosa Parks necessarily, but I am saying that she is taking a stand, and I think it is going to spark a powerful movement in the culture. And I'm so happy to see it. Honestly, one of the highlights of my weekend. Oh, and apparently DeSantis told Biden to F off when Biden was demanding that DeSantis call him Mr. President on a phone call. I think that's hilarious. Guys, give me a call. 970-660-1722 or 970-587-5171. Yeah, use that second number. 970-587-5171. How is your weekend? What are you looking forward to? Please just introduce yourself to me. I would love to collaborate more with our KHNC listeners. You're listening to the Bucky Dillon Show right here on 1360 KHNC, and it's great to be with you guys. I hope you guys are having a great morning. I'm watching the sunrise. It's risen, and I think it's going to be a great day. Chilly one, but I think it's going to be a great day.
Debuting Saturday, March 6th, right here on KHNC 1360 AM, the Roar of the Rockies, and every Saturday morning, March through October, from 7 to 8 a.m., the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Topic focused, guests from across the country, and answering your garden questions. Submit your questions now to gardentalkradio@gmail.com or call anytime to 1-800-927-SHOW. That's every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 a.m., right here on the Roar of the Rockies. Catch the replay Sunday afternoons from 4 to 5 p.m.
I mean, the whorishness of the media knows no bounds.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
And so you'd think I'd be into this. He can't help himself. He goes to work. And here he is, working both himself and the Biden administration.
So we're very proud to be part of that mandate.
Journalisming up the wazoo.
Proportionality is the whole ballgame.
The erection.
Very proud of that.
Erection.
Big mandate, a bigger mandate than John F. Kennedy.
It looks exactly the same size as a picture of my kids at the park.
Wow. I'll have what she's having.
Donald John Trump.
Performing unspeakable acts upon the administration.
Hour after hour, all the evils in the world.
They're the human centipede. They're just the human centipede.
Just shooting out from the Lincoln Memorial along the reflecting pool. It's like almost extensions of
the erection.
And it wasn't the only thing shooting out in this particular clip. And then awkwardly stroking our hair and sniffing us.
The cute pictures of my kids are not as newsworthy.
Very proud of that.
The erection.
Amazing.
But the lack of proportionality is what really gets me.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
Proportionality is what it's all about.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
It's pretty exciting for the country.
All of the music for the Bucky Dillon Morning Show was provided by my band, Beer for Bears. Find us on social media by looking for Beer for Bears.
But not all of us are in a position to take the kind of stand that Gina Carano can take. Right? Obviously, she's a star. She's a celebrity. She's got a look that just can't be canceled. I'm certainly not in that vote. I got a face for radio. This is why I'm here. But you can also catch the live stream. Guys, go to facebook.com/1360KHNC. like it, follow it, invite your friends to it. On there, you can find the link to the live streams. I didn't post today's on there. I typically do. But if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see some of the live streams, and you can follow me on the YouTube. Soon we're going to have a KHNC YouTube up. I don't control that, but I'm putting pressure on the people to do so. But you can take a stand by becoming a supporter of this station. You can do it for free by liking our social media page, inviting your friends, engaging in the conversation, becoming a content creator. You can do it by supporting our advertisers. Jerry Axum at Sears Real Estate makes this show possible. Our advertisers make our mission possible. We are taking a stand. And by joining forces with us, you can take a stand as well. And you can help yourself out in the process by going to 1360khnc.com/shop and getting yourselves some CBD products. We have a privileged rate for the credit card charges on online orders that other CBD companies just can't get. And My Kind CBD, 100% natural, 100% organic, 100% local. All the health benefits of CBD, none of the mind-altering THC. It's great for you. It's great for you. My Kind CBD gives us such a great deal. We appreciate them so much. They give us such a great deal that you can get their products cheaper on our website than you can get them from My Kind CBD. Now that is supporting the mission right there. And you too can help yourselves and help us by ordering your CBD products off 1360khnc.com/shop. Hit the shop button, check out the products. I cannot recommend them highly enough. I'm going to be taking my CBD products for my achy feet from marching around the cold Detroit landscape. My neck hurts from washing my back so much. I'm just kidding. No, it really does help, and we appreciate our audience. We love our audience, and you guys are always welcome to contact me, Bucky Dillon at khnc.net. You can visit my website, libertyrevoltmedia.com. I will be posting my footage and stories from my trip to Detroit. Cole is in Columbia. We're going to be doing an episode together about our recent journeys. So come hang out with us. Come be a part of the movement. Guys, it's great to be back. It's great to be with you. The Bucky Dillon Morning Show every weekday from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. right here on 1360 KHNC. Have a fantastic day. Try to enjoy the weather, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
1360 KHNC is proud to announce our partnership with My Kind CBD, a local Colorado-based company that uses no pesticides, no herbicides, completely organic, no heavy metals. All their products are CAO certified. That's right, independently lab certified. Our prices are the best in the country. Go out to 1360khnc.com and hit the shopping cart button and make your purchase today.
Do you need your fireplace clean? Not sure if your fireplace is working right or not sure if the fireplace is efficient?